Hi, I'm Taiwo Awuni. You are watching Afro Sports Channel 730 on Free TV.
Alright people, facts only. Your weekend is incomplete except you're part of the Afrogamer show. And I mean, you get to watch it, you get to share it with someone, and you get to rewatch it again because it's something you can binge all weekend long. Welcome people, it's time once again for the Afrogamer show right here on Afro Sports TV. My name is Shayo, your regular host, and it's great to be back on the grind talking about what's happening in the world of esports gaming and the games. As usual, it promises to be an exciting edition of the show, and you don't want to miss it for anything. Tell somebody it's time for the Afrogamer show. We'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll launch straight into the business of the day.
Desiree Henry, Olympic medalist, and you are watching Afro Sport on Free TV, channel 730, your freedom of sport.
Alright, welcome back. It's still the Afrogamer show, and it's time for the segment known as In the News, and that's where we get to deliberate on all that's happening in the beautiful world of esports gaming and the games. And as usual, I've got Ife with me on the show today, talking about the managing editor of the Afrogamer media and experiential platform. Ife, it's great to have you on the show. Once again, it's another beautiful weekend and time to dive into the news. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Once again, it's an honor to be sharing the spotlight with you. I'm happy to be here and looking forward to diving into the topics.
Should I spotlight myself on the show today since you are sharing the spotlight?
Yes,
with me?
exactly.
Okay, let's get into the business of the day, and we start with the Varsity Esports Tournament. That's the one powered by Gamr, our good friends at Gamr, and NUGA, the Nigeria University Games Association. Something went down in University of Benin, the indoor sports hall. If you want to inundate us about all the juicy details from that.
Yes, so there has been a partnership between Gamr, who are one of the stakeholders in Lagos, Nigeria, and the Nigerian University Games Association, and they came up with the tournament idea of Varsity Games. Yesterday, they did execute, or rather kick off in Benin, University of Benin, for that region. So they are picking certain cities and universities for each geological
zone.
So geopolitical zone, I'm sorry. So for University of Benin, cities and states around that, students from those schools will be able to attend. I know a few of the titles they did offer was EAFC 24, Call of Duty Mobile. Yes, and then there were side attractions of Just Dance. As to the next city, we're not yet sure, but we're keeping tabs on how the city crawl is going, and then we'll obviously give it to you here on the Afrogamer show.
On the Afrogamer show, yes indeed. Kudos to the guys at Gamr and NUGA for this initiative. I guess students have got something to look forward to in terms of Jack. What's that they say about all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but now they get to play something
Jack a dull boy
with the Varsity Esports Games. All right, let's talk about this man. We spoke about him a few weeks back, and he's back in the news. Initially, he did 70-something hours, or this 72 or 75 hours of gaming, which got him into the Guinness World Records. And now he said he wants to do a 2-in-1 gaming marathon. I'm talking Oside Oluwole, looking to attempt 100 hours of double gaming. Let's talk about that. Is it time to really do something once again, or just allow, the initial one to simmer and shine?
Shire, honestly, this came to me as a surprise, and I'm wondering why. Because I don't think it's even up to 6 months, or
It's
even
not
eight
even up
months, or
to a month.
exactly. No, it's more than a month, obviously.
Well,
But let's even
thereabout,
say
yeah.
it's not. Yeah, let's say it's not even up to a year.
Yeah.
And enjoy the moment of beating that 75 hours, build momentum from there, make all those connections, build those networks,
Yeah.
rather than having to come back again. I don't understand the thought process behind it. Like I did say, it was a surprise to me, and he's trying to just beat what he has done. So he played a mobile football game where he reached 75 hours, and he's trying to make so it's still the same game. It's not like you're trying something
He's
new, which would
adding,
have.
don't forget, it's a 2-in-1 marathon. If he's adding the sports game and the mobile game, so he's going to play 2 different games. It's the 2-in-1. So maybe that's the only twist to it this time around. But then, really, I
Still
think,
just
like you
yeah,
said, he should have just allowed the spotlight on the other one to marinate
yeah.
well, as it is.
Yeah,
Uh,
it still doesn't justify. I'm sorry, it still doesn't justify a reason for it. Although now they're not tying in a philanthropy angle to it, saying
yeah,
he's
charity
trying
side
to
of
raise
things.
funding, charity side of things, that he's trying to raise funding for those with
Spinal
spinal
cord injury.
deficiencies, injuries, rather. And the question is, for you to want to take on that, we need to see progress in terms of, okay, you've won 75 hours, or you've hit 75 hours. Have you gone to those medical facilities to see what is going on? So there needs to be a story told
There's a story, exactly.
for us
That's what I
to
was going to say, that there
understand.
should be a story.
Yeah, to understand your reason behind it. But there's no story, and you just come out and say, hey guys, now I want to do 100 hours, but I'm trying to fundraise. There has to be a story leading up to it. But once again, he knows why. We
Yeah,
wish him all the
and his
best,
team.
and let's see how far he goes. Exactly.
We definitely wish him all the best, but let me say it here now that it's definitely because he heard that I wanted to break his record that he decided to move it to 100. But let me tell you, Oside Oluwole, even if you put it at 100, I'm going to do 102 minutes. Hours that will still beat whatever you're doing. But we wish him the very best. Talking about Oside Oluwole, let's move from that story and talk about this one. Is an interesting one. No one saw it coming, and it became even more interesting when I heard the story of one of the participants that would be competing, representing Nigeria. And I'm talking the FIA's Motorsport Game 2024, which is taking place in Valencia, Spain. And we've got 3 athletes who will be going out there to represent us, talking about Kamto Chukure, Femi Olaoye, and Barak Roy Bako. It's totally unheard of, or these guys have been doing their thing behind the scenes, no spotlight on them, but it seems like it's time for us to get to know them and definitely see them shine representing Nigeria.
Yes. So first of all, I need to commend all those athletes, or e-athletes, like a few of people we know would say,
Yeah.
for picking Nigeria, because they could have easily just picked where they are located, UK, US, but they decided to represent the green, white, green, which I'm very, very happy. Once again, it's unpeculiar, because
Yeah.
we're not huge in motorsports or sim racing. We're still in that awareness stage. So to know that some
Face
people
of
are already
things,
ahead
yeah.
of, exactly, to know that some people are already ahead of the curve, and that now, gives us a template as to, creating that interest in the sport. So honestly, I'm going to wish them all the best. I'll be rooting for them, as well as, when there's that live stream, I will be in that live comment putting the
Definitely.
Nigerian flag.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of spamming, but in this case, I will just be putting that Nigerian flag to show that they are Nigerians.
Yes, indeed. But even before then, because it's happening between October 23rd and 27th this year, 2024. Before then, we definitely will be spotlighting one or all of them. Most importantly, and I must give a shout out to Emeka Chukure, that's the dad of Kamto, who reached out and told us about this. And, considering the fact, like you mentioned, they're not based here, he's not based here. both the father and the son, but they decided that Nigeria is motherland, is where he's going to choose, is quite commendable, and we definitely will track the journey, the progress they're making in the build-up to Valencia later next month. Let's move from there, and this one is, well, it's a bit of a tricky news, but we still need to share it and look at what the pros and cons and what's the effect of it. And I'm talking Omniverse announcing a $1 million prize pool esports tournament in partnership with the Ultimate Esports League. If $1 million in Nigeria or for Nigerian ecosystem is quite debatable, and we definitely must get to the bottom of this and ensure that it is what it is, isn't it?
Yes. So this is one of those news that broke that it would raise an eyebrow. There's no how you want to tell that story. A $1 million prize pool. How huge is the community? Who will it be playing? And there's a little bit of confusion here, and that's because Omniverse is saying, their partnership is what is enabling them have that league in Nigeria for a $1 million prize pool, and then the Ultimate Esports League is starting their new season 10 come January, and they already also have a $1 million prize pool. So we need to get the facts right here. Is it a separate 1 million, which means that they have 1 million for the rest of the world, and then there's 1 million for Nigeria, which of course that also will raise another eyebrow. No, it will raise. This one is raising the first eyebrow. This will raise the second eyebrow. So we need to have, or we need that clarity. Or is it that Nigeria now gets to participate in the season 10? So I don't have a problem with Nigeria participating, but I have a problem if that information is not accurate, and then it's just for people to say, oh, there was a $1 million prize pool. So we're out and looking. When the tournament is concluded, those checks that they're going to give in to winners, I'll be bringing out my calculator to check to see if it's 1 million. So once again, it's nice that we are bringing more esports activities, but let's say it as it is. So let's see how things turn out.
It's very important.
Exactly. It takes place first quarter of next year, so let's see what happens.
All right, we'll wait and see how it happens. I will recall that the Omniverse, which was a summit with different activities, had an esports tournament last year. I think it was a 10 million. If you can help me with that information, it was a 10 million prize pool.
It was 10 million prize pool.
So yeah, it's definitely a growth, but we definitely must ensure that
but from 10 million to almost a billion,
over a billion.
Over a billion?
I should just go and start playing games. Trust me.
Exactly.
Stop doing Gamer show. I hope nobody heard that. Okay, let's move from there and beyond Nigeria, but still on the African continent. Something interesting is happening in Kenya, and it's the Kenya University Esports Rankings. They're set to partner with CARIFest, and that is to host the Semester Esports. We have 25 universities participating in this one. It definitely is a good time to be a student, be it in Nigeria or in Kenya, because there's something to get to play and put some funds in your pocket and some good time to share with friends.
Yes, so this is a welcome development. I'm really excited about this, especially because it's a way to welcome students back into first semester. So that has made it very, very attractive. And once again, it's all online for now, which makes it accessible to everyone. So trust that out of that 25 universities, I was quick to go and look to see if Mount Kent University was there, since they are already starting with their esports hub. And obviously, I didn't have to scroll too far to see them. So I think, it's huge congratulations to CARIFest, who came up with that initiative. And I'm hoping that outside of Kenya, if it works out well, then they can expand to other parts of, especially because there has been this conversation. Even you and I have spoken about varsity esports. That to me is still the bedrock if you want to grow esports in Africa.
Definitely, Varsity Esports plays a huge role. That's because that's where the youth are gathered. Yes, there are youths in other informal sectors or even those who are already employed. But most importantly, we know that this is the place to catch them. And this is sweeter because you're even catching from those who just finished from high school and are getting into the university with this kind of initiative. So kudos to them, commendable stuff. And that's how we started in the new segment, a Varsity Esports in Nigeria and another Varsity Esports initiative outside of Nigeria. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, there's still more on the show for today. I'll let Ife go now and enjoy his weekend while I'm still here punching the numbers. I'll be right back.
Hi guys, it's Alex Iwobi, Super Eagles player. You're watching Afrosport Free TV on channel 730.
Welcome back. It's still your weekend's best companion, and I'm talking the Afrogamer show right here on Afro Sports TV. And my name is Shayo, your host, and we're moving on the show today, going to the segment known as the Retro segment. On Retro today, for some of us, car racing, because we've talked about sim racing earlier on, and car racing started with you just moving from left to right like you're wriggling or you're dancing. That's exactly what we've got to showcase on Retro today. The game is known as Road Fight, and it was on Family.com. Do you know it? Do you not know it? Share with us your thoughts, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for sticking around. Yes, that was Road Fight. I told you it's just a move from left to right and you're progressing. And it was an interesting one then because that's all that was available. I'm talking early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And that was what it was when you talk about car racing, playing a game car racing back then on Family.com. Let's move on to the Spotlight segment today. And this time we're talking about a South African who went did not conquer, but he did something no one else did, because out of the different countries, about 20 countries that got to participate in this particular tournament, he was the only African there. And I'm talking about Enzo Bento. That's his name. Enzo Bento represented South Africa and indeed all of Africa at the FIFA E World Cup. FIFA E World Cup. He represented and played the Football Manager game then. He's 25-year-old. He's from South Africa, like I said. And even though he breezed through his qualifiers, because upon our research and digging to how he qualified, he won all his 4 games, and that was back home in South Africa to qualify to represent his country. But upon getting to London to take on his opponent, Zvon from Germany defeated him. First game, he lost by 4-0, and the second game he salvaged it with a draw, but it wasn't enough on aggregate as they lost 5-1. That's our spotlight on Enzo. Bento is one to look out for, because I believe, and we believe, that Football Manager will continue to be part of the activations to be done by FIFA. Don't forget, the FIFAe now has multiple titles. It was done on Football Manager and also on eFootball Mobile. So we're looking forward to Enzo doing great stuff. He has learnt, he has garnered experience, and he will definitely return home with all that is head high, like I said, as the only African to have represented. And that is our spotlight for today. On Game On, which is the next segment, we're still sticking with the FIFAe World Cup, and that is to show you a wrap of all that went down with that particular tournament out there in London. It was massive. It was a huge experience for all that participated, and it definitely points to something, which is a mind shift, and a shift that shows progression, innovation, and lots of good things to come. Let's catch a recap of the FIFAe World Cup out there in London. That's the 2024 edition, and we'll be right back.
The final day of the Football Manager World Cup just wrapped up, and here is what you need to know. The final 4 teams from Group A, Germany, looking absolutely unbeatable, having picked up every single possible point that they could get in their group out of Japan. In Group B, Team South Africa, a surprise package who played with Brighton in the Premier League. In Group C, Indonesia, they might have gotten here late, but they dominated in that sporting group with multiple Champions League finals. And then in Group D, the miracle team from England, led by RDF Tactics, who had a loud mouth, but he was backing it up in style. They all met on this stage behind me in a fantasy draft format to decide the first ever Football Manager World Champion. The first matchup was Indonesia against the host nation, England. The first leg was 2-2, a comeback in front of a home crowd that was getting more and more raucous each time that they would score, and they'd get up and scream and celebrate, and it was an awesome spectacle that Football Manager has never seen before. In the second leg, it was a tight one with Indonesia edging through on a late goal to take a 2-goal advantage into the final, where they would match up against Germany, who absolutely dominated against South Africa in their first leg, picking up a huge win that they then defended in the second leg. The wow moment of the day, the first leg of the final when Germany was hosting Indonesia. Germany had not been behind by multiple goals at any point in this entire tournament, and the home advantage when it comes to Football Manager fantasy drafts is absolutely massive. But Indonesia scoring 2 goals in what felt like quick succession to take that lead really took the breath away from a lot of the crowd that was in attendance, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching online as well. That's when everybody seemed to know that it was all Indonesia. They've been crowned the Football Manager World Champion, and as the confetti is swept up behind me, it was a memorable spectacle that we've never seen before and we hope to see again. But there are new legends in the Football Manager world, Iksan and Team Indonesia, with a big win in the final, and they are now the world champions of Football Manager. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to the main broadcast, to my broadcast, or anybody else's broadcast of this absolutely spectacular inaugural FIFAe World Cup featuring Football Manager.
Okay, welcome back. That was the FIFAe 2024, and you saw the winners there. Great experience. The packaging, the lighting, everything about it was just perfect. And you begin to ask a lot of questions, but this is not the time to ask the questions. Let's just look at what's on Game On for today. On Game On today, last week I showed you guys a PlayStation car. This time we have a guy who has connected his PlayStation console to is reverse camera monitor. Let me not let out too much. I'll allow you catch that. And when I get back, it will be time for Game Over. Don't forget, for Game Over, we come up with thought-provoking concepts and discussions. And what are we talking about today? I'll leave you guessing till we get back from this. Welcome back. That was the fun side of esports, and maybe I'll think about it, connect my PlayStation. But then I like my PlayStation on my screen. In my living room, it's a massive screen, not just the reverse cam. But hey, everyone with an interest. That's the show for today, but definitely not without the Game Over. And yes, indeed, like I always say, come close. Let's talk about this. I believe it is time for CAF to consider an esports element in their executions. Kudos definitely to Patrice Motsepe, the president of the Confederation of Africa Esports, with different initiatives he's come up with since he became the president of CAF. Most notably, and one that I've followed, I think this is the second edition now, talking about the CAF Africa Schools Championships. But then would you not be surprised that CAF has not had a look into esports and the potential it has for the over 70% of the continent, which is the youth population? We've seen FIFA do it. We just featured the FIFA E World Cup. We've seen UEFA with the E Champions League, E Euros. We've seen the guys in Asia do it with the EAFC. And every other region is already embracing this growing trend that is not just about leisure, but one that is engaging the youth, putting money in their pockets, and definitely reshaping economies the world over. I believe CAF can take that decision, and it is one that would definitely be a game changer for the continent with over 54 countries, and definitely one that would impact the over 650 million youth on the continent. That is our Game Over for today, and I believe that it is time for CAF to embrace esports, as that will be the game changer going into the future. It's been the Afrogamer show right here on Afro Sports TV. My name is Shayo. I'll catch you next week on another fascinating edition of a journey into the world of esports, games, and gaming. Do have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.
Hi, I'm Moses Simon. You're watching Afro Sports, channel 730 on Free TV.